The most dramatic testimony yet played out in the Fort Hood massacre trial. The first police officer on the scene described her gun battle with Major Nidal Hasan and the dash cam video that recorded part of the violence. Fox 4's Sean Rabb was in the courtroom.
The entire courtroom wide-eyed and on the edge of its seat as Munley gave riveting testimony about her Fort Hood face-off with admitted shooter Nidal Hasan.
Soldiers, she told the court, pointed out the direction of the shooter as she responded to the shots fired call and ran towards the Soldier Readiness Processing Center, the SRP. Quote, "I saw a person in ACUs with the weapon that began firing in my direction."
What we saw here was her recollection of how she closed on Hasan, how they fought, both of them shooting at each other, and how finally the second police officer, Sergeant Todd, came in.
Munley says she began taking fire and could hear Sergeant Mark Todd yelling verbal commands. And that's when she says, quote, "I saw a red laser come across my eyes." She tried to use the building as cover in a laying down position looking for the shooter. Quote, "I saw the shooter again. He's still firing in my direction, and I began to engage him. He was running in my direction, still firing rapidly." Munley told the court that's when she stood up at the SRP. "I stood up to use the corner of the building as cover, and we were in 8 feet of each other and began to exchange gunfire." Hasan says in his Sanity Board report that Munley shot him twice. She was shot 3 times, in the hand, left thigh, and below the left kneecap. Quote, "When I fell to the ground, the shooter was coming over to me. My weapon would not fire. I see him standing over me, trying to fire his weapon at me, and his weapon's not firing."
If it hadn't have been for that slight little manufacturer's defect or whatever, call it, divine intervention, what have you, that saved her life.
Munley told the court, "I hear Sergeant Todd yell, 'Drop your weapon,' and he starts firing at Sergeant Todd, and Todd returns fire, and I see him go down." Munley and Todd were honored for bravely standing toe-to-toe and stopping Hasan's horror.
The government initially hoped to rest their case today. That did not happen. They tell the court today they still have as few as 15, as many as 25 additional witnesses to call. At Fort Hood, Sean Rabb, Fox 4 News.